Welcome to the realm of the gods. Well, it's just me. But anyways, I'm here to help you build upon and expand upon your creativity, imagination, and innovation. So, Patreon. What I'm going to be talking about with this Patreon, okay? Why you should support this Patreon and why, okay? There's a lot of content I'm going to be talking about, Create Like a God content. Some of you might don't know what is Create Like a God content. For one thing, I did have a podcast that had 141 episodes of the Create Like a God podcast. It used to be called Stay Creative, but I changed the name because I remember every episode I was saying was work like a slave, eat like a king, create like a God. And over time, I ended up changing it, okay? So, going back to the podcast, I did 141 episodes on the Create Like a God podcast, 141. Those, I did rush them. I didn't really have to spend more time with the topics and stuff like that. Some of them did, some of them I didn't. But I'm going to keep them on there for learning lessons, see those who look at the old stuff, coming with the new stuff. And plus, I'm going to end up going over them and seeing what I said. Some of the stuff I may not been saying wasn't probably don't know. So I'm going to go over it. Another thing is, too, if you guys do support this Patreon, if you get the Create Like a God podcast, you can go to anchor.fm/Jaron Mitchell and you'll see become a contributor. You can come contribute from there, or you can become a Patreon on here on my Patreon. And on Patreon, if you do become a patron, depending on what tier that you're in, you're going to get the podcast episodes with no ads, okay? But no interruption with the ads or anything like that, promotions, anything like that, because you guys are patron. You're supporting my Patreon. So that's another thing we're going to be doing. What I'm going to be doing with that, for those who, depending on what tier you get into, you're going to be able to listen to the Create Like a God podcast with no ads. And it's going to be on video too on my YouTube. That's the thing I'm working with too. So it's going to be on a video onto my YouTube. Okay, that's another thing as well. And so you're going to be able to see it in video or in audio, listen anywhere. And yeah, man, so going to get some people onto the show. 142 will, depending on when this Patreon been launched and everything like that, 142 and beyond will be up, but there will be over time where I'm going to be updating my intro to my Patreon as well. Next, we got up with the Create Like a God content is YouTube, okay? Of course, like I said, we're going to have video with YouTube for my Create Like a God podcast and other things as well, such as, tutorials that I'm going to be doing. We're going to be talking about that in a second. Other, live streams, okay? Many other videos and stuff, like ideas that I have as well onto the show, onto the Create Like, I won't say onto the show, but on the Create Like a God content. Vlogs, okay? Vlogging, going through my creative entrepreneur journey, my artistpreneur journey, artist journey, and we're gonna be taking from there, and much more, man, much more with depending on what type of content I create, maybe sculpting characters that you chosen, mash up, doing little shows here now, something for fun. And that's another thing as well, and add on to the brand, Jaron Mitchell brand, also with the Create Like a God brand as well. Next thing is written blogs, so stuff that I'm gonna be writing, okay? This is not just going with blogs, okay, onto my website. Anything, like I don't know if I said this, but anything that I'll post is going to be strictly for Patreons first. Then it's going to go to my website. Then it's going to go to my website or any other platforms that I'm using. Everything will be a Patreon first. I say maybe 1 or 2 weeks ahead on schedule, or whatever I post. Say if I record some podcast episodes, you're going to get them that day, okay? That day. There's no wait. You're going to get them that day, depending on how I'm going to do some things, and blogs as well, okay? Learning about the Create Like a God philosophy. What is the Create Like a God philosophy, okay? There's much more with individual achievement. There's many of my own little personal, I guess, beliefs or opinions, you can say, with how I look at things, how I think of things. So I look at myself as a free thinker or a thinker. So there's going to be more with Create Like a God, spirituality. We're going to be talking about health, okay? Because health is important. Without your health, you ain't going to be able to, actually write, actually be creative. That's another thing. Create like a God. You're actually creating if you're thinking about your health in a negative way, you're actually gonna be creating your own disease. Our mind is freaking powerful. Trust me on that. Trust me. Our mind, what Napoleon Hill quote said, one of his quotes, he said, "Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve." So whatever our mind thinking, it can actually auto suggestion. We actually attracting it to it, which is law of attraction. So I'm gonna be talking about that, laws in the universe, and stuff of my own beliefs, spirituality, health, and much more than that. The next thing as well is going to be artwork. Okay, my artwork. Goes with comics. Okay, comics and manga. Okay, Fall in the Son of Synn, I've been working at for almost 10 years. Okay, God Adam, which is going to be a novel, which I talked about in my blog, not a blog snippet, which is going to be on Wattpad, which is like, I guess, a web novel that would be, and even with webtoons, which is going to be basically web comics, is going to be Halfblood on webtoons, and all these are going to connect with itself. And I've been learning some as transmedia. You guys can go ahead and look that up, or you can look at one of my episodes on the podcast, Create Like a God, and we're going to be taking it from there. Okay, so artwork, which is going to get artwork early before I post it anywhere else. Artwork behind the scenes, what I'm working on. Okay, artwork with even with sculpting. Okay, sculpting, I do 3D stuff. I'm a 2D and 3D artist. Okay, so I do both, and you're going to be seeing both through 2D and 3D concept work, illustrations. Okay, you're going to be getting illustrations, content, even with Photoshop file or Procreate files, ZBrush files, depending on what type of artist you are. You can look over it. If you have ZBrush or anything like that, you can look over it and stuff like that, and give you guys some content, or whatever stuff that I make through ZBrush, and give you guys some behind the scenes. Okay, so with comics, manga, same thing, illustration, concept work, give you guys my workflow, and my workflow going to be working overtime. The more time I work, build upon the skill and make it a habit, because the repetition is the mother of skill. So with that, Create Like a God, not Create Like a God, but more even other stuff that hasn't been released yet. I'm not having released, and y'all gonna get them. Y'all gonna get everything first, 2 weeks or a week later before I'm posting anywhere else. Okay. Next thing, this goes with blogs as well, which is personal development books. There's a couple books I actually want to write, which is talking about Create Like a God philosophy. Okay, I got a couple books. Okay, same, not just like writing books, but also personal development books. I also want to write, not novels or anything like that, but also personal development books that help you become a better version of yourself. Books that you can see my way of thinking, just like you can see in blogs, and how I'm thinking of things, and not even that, even with the podcast too, learning from others. Okay, learning from and interviewing others. Okay, I may learn from them, or whatever other courses that I'm learning. Education, and working on myself, and that's what this Patreon going to be. The money's going to be going towards as well, so I can build upon my skills, build upon being the best version of myself, and give you guys content, and be the best person to give you guys service. And that's why I talk about health. But going back with personal development books, that's another thing we're going to get in. Create Like a God content. Okay, Create Like a God philosophy, some books. You can say light novels, books, of course. You can say maybe screenplay scripts, films or something like that, possibly, who knows. But that's the things that we're going to be working with, and as you guys going to be able to help me produce those type of content, and have an actual paperback book. And those who actually do, we're gonna come up with some ideas. So those who actually do, say for instance, do support the Patreon, you guys are going to get books. Y'all probably going to get the books sent to you. Guaranteed, okay, because you guys supported the books. I end up publishing the books. You gave me the money to make the books and get, and send them out to other people, but you guys gonna be the first one. Comics, books, probably animation, maybe games and stuff like that, or 20% off, whatever. We're gonna decide that later. I got some big things coming on, big things going, and things I'm thinking, but we got to start small first, but able to reach the big things, because I think I'm a person that thinks big. So that's this segment of personal development books. Okay, animation. Okay, I always wanted to have my own animation studio, and it's gonna get some animation. So you're gonna get some tutorials. Okay, like I said before, tutorials. We're gonna get there in a minute, but with that segment in a minute. But tutorials. Okay, animation. Okay, animation that I'm worked on. 2D, 3D animation. Okay, storyboards. Okay, stuff that I'm using, or what tutorials or whatever I'm using. Okay, or whatever type of film that I'm working with, or TV show, whatever. You guys are going to help me with that. Seriously, like also be able to build a team, get equipment. Okay, get all that stuff done. And that's the reason why I'm creating this, because I really do like to do this, like to have my own money, but you guys are gonna be able to help me out with crowdfunding, with my being a Patreon, and you're gonna be getting, you guys gonna be getting the first ones to get benefits, more benefits before it actually get put out into the public, and I see it in bookstores and stuff like that. Man's thinking big, so animation, movies, and anime possibly, and yeah, man. Also, getting paid, paying the team members, anybody that's I want to hire as a you could say a job or something like that. You guys are gonna be able to pay them out. Another thing is gaming too. Okay, I do it, like I said, I think big. Gaming studio. Okay, yes, I do like to have a gaming studio. Certain team members that work in games, certain team members that work in animation, movies, film, movies, or TV shows, or whatever. So games is gonna be another thing. Okay, like I said, going through 3D stuff, right? ZBrush stuff, right? The artwork of that, you guys are gonna see that. You guys are gonna be able to test the game first. Y'all gonna be the first ones that's gonna be testing the game before I actually put it out on any other streaming. I say, was it on and idle games? I haven't done. It's been a while since I've been looking at research, but I definitely, when it gets to that point, I'm gonna be doing the research, and we're gonna be taking it from there. The same thing with comics and all that before we start getting there. And yeah, man, you guys are gonna be the first ones able to test the game out if you like playing games, depending on who you are. And yeah, man, another team for that as well. I do love games. I do love animation. I love all comics, all that. I love that stuff. Okay, and I'm here to bring out my own intellectual property. Okay, I ain't looking to have no one else. I ain't looking to have nobody else do it. This is in-house. Everything going in-house. Okay. Another thing, I don't have this on my notes right here though. Another thing will be toys. Okay, like statues and stuff like that. I always wanted to have statues, do 3D print. Another thing that have money, you have a 3D printer. Okay, certain 3D printer. Start printing some stuff. Start having some statues. You guys gonna be the first ones, man. The first ones that have the statue. The first one able to pay, or able to, be patrons. Maybe depending on when we get to that point, we could talk about it, and maybe get 50% off or something like that. Don't know. I gotta see how much the cost and everything is like that, because this is a business. And toys, statues, okay, all that. We're gonna be going through the Patreon, and not even that. If we do all this, it may go to Kickstarter as well. So some of this stuff may go to Kickstarter, and you guys will be the first ones. Patrons will be the first ones to be able to get the early access of all, with Patreon and everything like that. Of the first ones to be able to get stuff first. If I do decide to do Kickstarter. But we're going to work through that, okay? All this stuff, I am talking about this now. All this stuff has not been done yet. But over time, you come on Patreon, we're going to be talking about this. We're going to be discussing this. And we're going to be taking things from there, okay? Like I said before, team, okay? Building a team, equipment, okay? Making stuff, building a team, having, stuff produce a lot faster than usual, having the right equipment, better equipment than I have now, okay? With filming. Okay, with cameras, we're gonna go with cameras, Cintiq, iPad, all the other stuff, art goodies and stuff like that, mics for the podcast and stuff like that, man, and many other stuff, service products, maybe other services that I'm gonna be using to whatever I'm gonna be using to build, like Unity and stuff like that, which I haven't talked about that in the games, but Unity, game engines, other stuff that I have to pay for. Stuff costs money. So that's another thing that's going to be able to get it to help you get this actually published, and not publish and actually go through the professional route, instead of using maybe student version or the free version, depending on what we're going to be using. And yeah, man, teamwork, equipment, cameras, computers, okay, Cintiqs, better computer, better camera, all the 9 yards, man. Another thing as well with that. Providing guys with education, okay? Education. I've been talking about this before, like tutorials, right? Education with, with sales and marketing, digital marketing, affiliate marketing. If you guys do want to learn about affiliate marketing, you not just have to learn it here. I'm going to be talking about those who do not want to, because I'm going to have to specifically go towards with artwork and stuff like that. With artwork, with artists, stuff like that, looking into books. So, but if you do want to know more about affiliate marketing, stuff like that, how to get into affiliate marketing, you can go to my website at jaronmitchell.com/affiliate playbook. You can get a free affiliate playbook, and also you learn more about Affiliate Institute, depending on the video right here, depending on if things change and stuff like that. If things and stuff like that change, I'm gonna be talking about funnels. I'm gonna be talking more educational stuff as well with ZBrush, artwork, how to sell your art, sales and stuff like that, man. I'm gonna educate you guys on this, because this is stuff, like I said, I'm gonna be learning it. I'm gonna be building upon my skills, and I'm also gonna be teaching it as well. So that's another thing I'm gonna be doing. And those who wants to learn how to sell their artwork, those who wants to learn how to know the online, how to make money online, or build specialized knowledge, not specific, but specialized knowledge for them to use that money, to use them skills to able to build themselves their own products, their own income online, or use somebody else's product so that way they can help them build their own products. And all that stuff, I do affiliate marketing. That money is going to go towards, back to that business and stuff like that I'm doing. Also towards, I'm using my own money to build upon my other stuff as well with my comics and stuff like that. I'm going to be using my own money with that. Like I said, all own. I ain't trying to sell nobody. I ain't trying to go to no other type of service. I'm going all own. Everything owned by me. Okay. And yeah, man, tutorials, books. Another thing, tutorials with books. You see a whole bunch of art books and stuff like that. Illustration books. We talked about that too. So I'm going to be having those as well. And man, educating you guys and providing an educational platform. Okay. You learning yourself, you working on yourself, you working on your game, working on your craft. You learn how to create like a god, learning how to be the best version of yourself, discipline and all that, what I'm going through, and stuff that I'm learning online that when I first started, which I would have known today to tell you guys how you won't make the same mistakes I will. Okay, manga tutorials with Clip Paint Studio, ZBrush, Photoshop, graphic design work, all the stuff that I'm learning that you guys helping me with to provide, to build upon my skills, work on my craft, and I'm going to give back as well. Okay, give back, and it's going to be on YouTube. Stuff's going to be on YouTube, and we're going to be working on certain things, okay? Also as well, you're going to be able to get commissions from me. If you want a commission, you're able to get some, depending on what tier that you got, you're able to get some % off as well. Merchandise, my own store, you're able to get some percentage off as well, okay? So that's another thing. That's another dibs, okay, that you have. You get discounts, okay? Your mans, don't do discounts, okay? I don't do, if somebody orders from my, they wanted just a regular, just say a regular, commission from me, okay? They getting hit with a full price. But with you, as a patron, you're going to get a discount. Depending on what tier you get, you're going to get a discount from my tier, whatever tier that I'm in. You're going to get a discount from my commission because you are my patron. Okay, so that's another thing. We're going to be getting to illustrations, depending on what you want, what type of commission that you want. We're going to be working on that. Okay, so man, I don't do that. I really don't do that. I don't do discounts. Okay, this it's a problem with this, and it's a problem sometimes in the Black community when they say something about, oh, give me a discount. A lot of people, when they figure out where you work, oh, can I get a discount? Nah, I don't really do discounts. I really don't. From the stuff that I'm doing, I really don't. But since you're gonna be a patron, you're gonna get discounts of my work, okay, and my commissions, and same thing with my merchandise. Okay, that's another thing you're gonna get. I got JaronMitchellStore.com, depending on if it's open or not, because I'm going to be able to, sometimes some days it's going to be open, some days I'm going to end up closing it. Maybe every 30 days is going to be up and say 130 days down is up, next 30 days is up, basically. So commissions and some type of merchandise. Okay, maybe with books. We're going to be talking about this once you becomes a patron, though. Okay, we're going to be talking about more about it and see what I can get here and see where I can make a living. Okay. okay? I'm living out of this, and I'm gonna be thanking you guys for this, all right? I did talk about entrepreneurship, sales, and marketing, okay? So that's another part I'll talk about. So let's go ahead and recap, okay? So we got the podcast, no ads, depending on what your tier is, and also you're gonna be helping the podcast out. Podcast get better, new equipment, okay? YouTube, able to provide content guys through YouTube, blogging, artwork, behind the scenes of the artwork, okay? ZBrush, Substance Painter, 3D, 2D artwork, okay? Concept art, stuff that I'm working with, okay? You guys are gonna be the first one that's going to see it before anybody else, okay? I'm thinking about 2 weeks before or a week before, and if I do record a podcast, you're gonna get that podcast that exact day with no ads, okay? Depending on what tier that you set yourself in, okay? Mangas, comics, okay? Books, personal development books, writing books, okay? Work on yourself, becoming the best version of yourself, understanding the create like a God philosophy that I am creating. And like I said, with the podcast as well, with YouTube, getting guests onto the show, learning from the guests, having the guests giving us some value, so that way I'll be able to maybe write, or it's just, where my way of thinking. That's how create like a God is. My way of thinking with writing, with the blogs and stuff, okay? Animation, games, building an animation studio, building a gaming studio, okay? That's another thing, able to hire some people, okay? Team and equipment, okay? Education, tutorials and books, learning, education, help y'all build upon some new skills and stuff like that, working on your health, your wellness, your income wise. I didn't say all that, okay? Your income, you're saving yourself money, which apps you can use, what you can't use, calculating yourself, that way you won't be wasting money. I'm going to be talking about this depending on what certain tier that you're in. I'm going to be talking about this, okay? I didn't mention this earlier, which is masterminding as well. Mastermind, you're able to work with me, okay? You're able to work with me. We get together and we're going to be able to work together, okay? And I'll be able to help you out, get into a mastermind and maybe some other people. And yeah, man, we're going to be taking it from there. And entrepreneurship, sales, and marketing. And also, with artists, being an artist and stuff like that as well, okay? My way of doing it and what I believe in, my own personal beliefs. I'm still learning every single day, and I love education, and I'm going to be able to provide you back. So hopefully you enjoy this video. Thank you if you do support my Patreon, and if you do, welcome to the realm of the gods, okay? Folks, it's not where we at, it's where we come from. Work like a slave, command like a king, and always, always create like a god.